Hello everyone, I'm back again to test out some really interesting myths in Red Dead Redemption 2. Stick around until the end, because you don't want to miss how these turn out. First myth says if you try to rob someone while drunk, they won't take you seriously. This one sounds pretty interesting, so let's see if it's true.
Oh, I was trying to start meddling in these parts.
I want
Sure hope you're kidding.
some, just don't know what. Idiot.
When Arthur was drunk and tried to threaten people for a robbery, they just didn't take him seriously at all. So this myth is confirmed. Next myth says you can unlock a locked door by shooting it. So let's test it. This door is locked, so we'll fire a few shots at it and see if it opens. After unloading a bunch of bullets, the door still wouldn't budge. So yeah, this myth is busted. Before we jump into the next myth, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon, because the moment GTA 6 drops, I'll be busting every crazy myth in that game. Next myth says if you kill a lawman and the investigation ends, other lawmen will come and carry the dead body away. So we found a dead lawman NPC, dropped the body here, and waited from a distance to see what happens after the investigation ends.
A few moments later.
And yeah, once it was over, the other lawmen actually picked up the body and took it with them. So this myth is confirmed. Next myth says arrows can make dynamite explode. So here's the test. First, I grabbed regular arrows and fired a few directly into the dynamite. Nothing happened, just like I expected. Normal arrows don't have the power to set it off. But then I switched over to fire arrows. I placed the dynamite on the ground, aimed carefully, and the moment that fire arrow touched it, instant explosion. No delay, it just blew up right away. So yeah, this myth is confirmed, but only with fire arrows. Okay, this myth sounds crazy. Apparently, if you just stand still after an alligator hisses at you, it'll leave you alone. So I tried it. Walked right up, stood there like a mannequin, thinking the gator would get bored and walk away.
A few moments later.
Spoiler, it didn't. The thing charged straight at John and turned him into dinner. So yeah, don't try this one at home. This myth is busted. Next myth says dynamite will explode if a train runs over it. So we headed to the train tracks, placed a few sticks of dynamite, and waited for the train to roll by. The idea is simple. Massive train pressure should trigger the explosives. But when the train passed over, nothing happened. No explosion, no chaos. The dynamite just stayed stuck perfectly on the track. So this myth is busted. Next myth says a sniper bullet can go straight through a grain sack and hit the NPC holding it. So I grabbed a sniper rifle, lined up the shot, and fired right at the sack. And yes, the bullet actually went through and hit the NPC's arm. Snipers in this game are really powerful, so this myth is confirmed. Next myth says a boat won't sink even if you keep throwing tomahawks at it. So we took a boat out onto the river, grabbed some tomahawks, and started hurling them straight into the hull. After several throws, the boat was definitely taking hits, but it never actually sank. So yeah, surprisingly, this myth is confirmed. Next myth says the train will stop if you park a hot air balloon right on the tracks. So we dragged a balloon onto the railway and waited to see what would happen. As the train approached, I was expecting it to just plow through, but instead the train actually stopped in its tracks.
Keep out of my way.
That's something I honestly didn't see coming. This myth is confirmed. Alright, here's a funny one. The myth says your horse can't stop cleanly on ice.
You know what to do, girl.
So I ran across the frozen lake and slammed the brakes. The poor horse skidded like it was wearing roller skates, sliding before finally coming to a stop. So yeah, horses aren't exactly ice skaters. This myth is confirmed. The next myth says you can't drag a bear with your leash. So I went head to head with a bear, took it down. And then tried to hook it up with the rope, just like I do with other animals.
Bruh.
But nope, the leash doesn't even work on bears. This myth is confirmed. The next myth says you can break ice using dynamite. So I went back to the frozen lake and threw some dynamite right on the surface. The explosion looked big, but the ice stayed perfectly solid. Nothing broke at all. This myth is busted. The next myth says pet animals actually sleep at night.
Yeah.
In the daytime, we could see every single one of them active and moving around. So I came back during the night to check. And yeah, most of them were sleeping. A couple were still eating, but the majority were out. So this myth is confirmed. Next myth says if you place dynamite underwater and shoot it with fire arrows, it will explode. I placed dynamite right under the water surface. First fire arrow hit did nothing. But when I shot the second one, boom, it actually exploded. That makes this myth confirmed. Next myth says you can shoot the fan right out of an NPC's hand. For this one, I had to use John's special ability. I lined up the shot and fired. Instead of blasting it out of his hand, the NPC actually just dropped it on his own. This myth is busted. Alright guys, if you're still watching, you definitely liked the video. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications because GTA 6 myths will be tested real soon. And hey, drop your myth suggestions in the comments so I can cover them next.